Gulf in winter. It is chilly, it is wet. You can still get out, but a lot of my time has been spent at the range. I'm now a part of 2 winter leagues, one at Top Golf and one right here at our local range, where we do 9 on the simulator each week. Not only that, but I'm still making the same time that I always have to get out to the range at least once, maybe twice a week. This particular session, I got out with a friend of mine there, and I wanted to get some video. So I've got a couple swings with the driver there. In just a moment here, I'm going to pull out the 8-iron. And we also took time in particular, though, to get out and practice the short game. Get on the putting green and spend some time on the chipping green. I've been really purposeful about doing that as season 2 begins now, as I think that's where the majority of my gains are actually going to come in this coming season. It's shoring up the short game, getting better at putting, getting better at chipping. But everything that you see here was done with the same clubs that I was using last year. Now, that all changes. Today, I want to show you my new clubs. The entire bag has been upgraded. Let's take a look at it. First off, one thing I do want to say, those Cobras that I got last year, you can see the video on my channel here. I still think exactly the same as I did of them then. I love them. They are a great club for a beginner. In general, I hit them well and I enjoyed them. The one thing, which I saw at the time even, was that they had regular stiffness shafts, and that doesn't work very well when you've got a higher swing speed. I thought at the time I was fairly high, but yeah, last fall at the end of it, when I was doing that TrackMan session, I saw that I was swinging at about 108 miles an hour. By anybody's estimations, that means extra stiff. So that's what this is about, is upgrading the bag. So I got some extra stiff shafts available. That's all it is. So I did so by hitting up a couple of places that are pretty well known. The first is Callaway Preowned. So Callaway Preowned, the very first of these clubs is the Rogue Sub-0. Again, not quite sure of the shaft. I think it's just the stock shaft here. It says Rogue on it, for goodness sakes. It is extra stiff though. I've hit it a couple times, and I'm working on my driver in general, but it's served me well so far. That was only like 150 bucks off of Callaway Pre-Owned. Came basically brand new. I haven't seen it. It doesn't look like it had a single ball hit. It really is just an amazing condition, as Pre-Owned is known for there. We've got a 3-wood that came from them as well. And that is the Epic Speed. Same deal with the shaft. This is a Mitsubishi, but extra stiff, of course. And these all are. Everything is extra stiff with a mid-size grip. So the one thing I've noticed about this is that it's actually heavier than I'm used to. I'm used to a much, much lighter club. So I was worried that that might mean that I'd be swinging a lot slower with this than I did with my old one, with the Cobra. As it turns out, no. For some reason, I actually swing it faster. So even though it's a little heavier, it must have the balance in all the right places. The other big change that I don't have a 5-wood right now. I'm curious if I'm going to come to regret that this summer. Because my 3-wood I discovered goes about 230 to 240. So if that's about a 230-ish, then the real question left is, how far do the new Sub70 irons go? So this is Sub70 699 Pro V2. V2 just came out in January, and I jumped on that bus. So they're considered player's distance irons, and I have not hit a single one yet. Literally, I just got them this afternoon. So I'm excited to get them over here and see how they go. But they're a little bit thinner than the Cobra. Cobra's definitely a game improvement. These are claimed to be player's distance. So it's one step down the scale, a little closer to blades, but definitely not quite. There's still some chonkiness in there. So it should definitely still help me a bit. The other big change that this means too, dynamic gold, extra stiff shafts all around as well. The other big change with this is that my 4 and my 5 are now irons. I hated hitting hybrids. So thankfully my hybrids are no more. So Instead, I've got actual regular irons for the 4s and 5s, so I'm very curious how well I'll be hitting those too. But those are the primary changes. The last thing is one more big change, and that is this Odyssey putter. It's a DFX head number 7. So I'm excited about this one too. It's face balanced. So as a face balanced putter, that means that it's much better designed for a straight back and a straight through putt. And that is the tendency I have. So it's actually made it really a lot easier, I guess, just to be more consistent with my putting. It's been really cool. I've had this one for a couple of weeks. I've had the driver and 3-wood for about a week now. Used them 2 or 3 times. And they're both, I love the 3-wood. I'm working on the driver. And the irons, we're about to find out. So come on with me, let's hit a couple and see how it goes. Say, did I forget to mention some really, really awesome shoes? These things came from Echo on sale. These are last year's model. And they normally run just over 200. I got them for 50% off. So incredible deal, and they are amazing. My first pair of golf shoes. I didn't think that golf shoes would make much of a difference, and I love these things. Like this is a full, I got the golf bug, and we're doing things right this year. I can't wait. All right, first hit with the new gloves. During this session, I went through the entire bag. I hit particularly the 4-iron, the 3-wood, my 8-iron, and my gap wedge. The reason why I hit each of those in particular is the 8-iron is just my average iron. My gap wedge replaces my old approach wedge, which was my favorite club in the bag. So I definitely have to be comfortable with it. And the 4-iron was because it's replacing the hybrid. So that's important, that it just plain hit strikes well and goes like the same distance. I couldn't really tell the distance out there that night, but you can see here, while there are some off shots, my misses are to the left, which I liked because that's where my irons generally miss, and my hybrids generally miss right. So that's an easy way for me to gain some consistency that I didn't have last year. And then, of course, the 3-wood because, well, if you got a long shot, you want that to be straight. And I've got a brand new 3-wood, so it's time to practice with it. For 120 some odd shots, we got the chance to run the gamut. By the end of the evening, I was confident in the gap wedge and the regular irons. The 3-wood felt great, though it was a little squirrely still, with some left and some right misses, but the distance was incredible. And the 4-iron, I couldn't quite tell the distance that it went on a night like this with the darkness as it is and just being a regular range like this. It's hard to tell distance, but it was squirrely. It really was. It's definitely going to take some work to straighten out the 4 and the 5-iron. And I've been to the range since, and it definitely, even just on that second session alone, feels better. But I'll have to find out a distance as we get on the course, really, or the TrackMan later this week. I've got another indoor tournament tomorrow. All in all, I'm excited for the new set. They are heavier, but they all strike well, and they feel good. So with that feel and a little bit of practice, this season is starting off well. It feels great to have the full set, a putter that I like, a 3-wood that I trust, a driver that just makes me feel confident, and an entire set that I know is working with my swing. That's what I was missing last year. The shaft just was, it was reacting in ways that sometimes even before I hit the ball, I knew it was going to be a bad shot. And that's not going to happen this year. Not unless it's on me. Nonetheless, that's all I got for y'all today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out my new set from Callaway Preowned and Sub70. And I hope that your season looks as bright as mine does. I'll see you next time.